We're going to push back, don't do this morning for the breaking news involving your San Diego Padres. And again, from Kevin Acey of the Union Tribune, just tweeting that John Seidler has been unanimously approved by MLB owners as the Padres' new control person. So, officially, after an interim year from Eric Katsenda following the passing of Peter Seidler, John Seidler is now what most fans would consider the owner of the San Diego Padres. Now, financially, he's certainly not a majority owner. He's not a Steve Cohen who just, hey, I just own the team. It's my team. He is one member of a consortium of family members and other outside investors who actually do own the Padres. But for Major League Baseball's purposes, they always require one person to be the ultimate decision maker for a franchise. They can't have a bunch of different voices. It's not this is not a collaborative effort. When it comes to the, voting on things in Major League Baseball, they need one person who has the authority to make decisions for an organization, and that will now be John Seidler going forward for the San Diego Padres.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Can't say that anybody's really surprised right now how that worked out. And honestly, I wish I could come on here and tell everybody, oh, this is great news, or this is going to be okay. I don't know. I just don't know. It's the word I've really been focused on the offseason has been murky. And while this, Ben, gives you a little bit more clarity, and like I mentioned earlier, once the person is named, yeah, okay, so it kind of falls on that person, right? When you hear control, I control the team. Hence, I control the spending of the team. I control what we do, the direction of the team. That's the control person. It's in the title, right? So, like Eric had said, it was interim control person. Interim. I'm not going to be here forever. Never busted the guy's balls once.
Even if you're a control person, you can't go against the wishes of everybody else who owns the team.
Right.
You still have to have your own meetings with your board and your other owners, and they will set the direction collectively of the franchise. He doesn't get to be a dictator about what the San Diego Padres do or don't do.
There's a few. I mean, there's a few in baseball.
Oh, yeah, there are some, but not with the Padres.
Not with the Padres. It's not going to be the case.
So Caitlin asked, does this mean the lawsuit is over? No, it has no impact at all.
Lawsuit continues.
What has not happened, Sheil Seidler has not received any legal injunctions or anything to stop this from happening. So, Major League Baseball is going to continue on with business as usual. But if one day, a judge rules in favor of Sheil Seidler, that will upend this decision in the balance. So, no, nothing changes in terms of the lawsuit at the moment, although it is, probably advantageous for John Seidler to already be in the position in terms of, occupying and doing the job. If you'll just, again, kind of explain how it works. And again, I've become more of an expert on trust and wills lately, but, I'm not a lawyer when it comes to this sort of thing. The estate of Peter Seidler, what he left, and the instructions that at least, were indicated and that the Padres are currently following was that Peter left his trust to be managed by one of his brothers. It started out as Bob, then Matt
stepped down.
Then Bob stepped down, then Matt became the trustee. And then Matt named as one of the duties of the trustee of his estate. One of the duties. He was to name a new control person. And he has named John, who is now in charge. John is expected to then become the new trustee for the estate. So he is legally obligated and responsible for what Peter Seidler basically left in his will. Now, the beneficiary of his estate is Sheil Seidler and Peter's kids. So even though he's the one who is in charge and managing the estate, he's doing it on behalf, essentially, of Sheil Seidler and the kids. And this is where the lawsuit comes in. She now doesn't think that he should be the one who is running the Padres.
Correct.
Since he is ostensibly running it for her and her kids' benefit, she thinks she should be the one who's making the decisions. But according to the documents that were left from Peter Seidler, that's not how he set up his estate.
Right.
And that's what's the heart of this legal dispute between the two sides is who should be in charge of the estate and in charge of the San Diego Padres.
Seeing different mixed reactions online. I just saw a Dodger fan tweet, "This is a good move for the San Diego Padres." I wrote him back because I follow him. He's a pretty funny dude. I said, "The fact that you like this makes me nervous." What do you know that I don't know about John Seidler and maybe his Dodger history? And then Bean Eater Buzz, a big Braves fan, says, "We might see a fire sale in San Diego soon." I don't know what naming a control person, what that would do to lead you to believe that the Padres are about to have a fire sale. I don't. I don't see the correlation there.
No, I mean, they could have started if they wanted to.
I think they already would have started.
They could have already started it. I don't
Right.
think this changes much in terms of the direction of the team.
I don't know. I can't even speak to that. I can't say that it does or it doesn't. I have no idea. Again, it's very important for the control person to go on record with the intentions.
What would trigger a fire sale is usually if the idea is to sell the team and to have it as streamlined as possible for a new owner.
Then you just start unloading. That's what you do.
Which we've seen in other organizations.
Yep.
Now, Peter Seidler had always said that was never the intention. After he was gone, he wanted the team to stay in his family for decades and decades.
And even explicitly kind of laying out he wanted his kids to run the team. Now, this is not Little Big League. We're not going to have a 12-year-old running the San Diego Padres. I think everybody's okay and on board with that. That kicks in, Ben, I believe when one of them turns 40. Is that right?
That's when they can become controlling of the trust, which would be when they could then control the team. So, yeah, in 28 years or so, if the team is still run by the Seidler family, they would have the opportunity to take control of the trust, their interest in the Padres, and then maybe be named control person of the Padres.
Wouldn't that preclude them from, in fact, selling the team or right? Like
no, not necessarily.
If in so many years,
because right now, whoever is the trustee has the legal authority to act on behalf of the trust, even if you never know what could come up financially.
Sure.
They may, for the best interest of the kids, decide, selling the team may be the best interest of the kids. Even if, everyone would love to own a baseball team at some point, if you're not going to make it that far financially and you have to sell the team, then that's what the decision the trust has to make.
That's tough, man.
But, again, they...
Ray says 2052 is going to be generational. Yeah. It's going to be a really, really great year.
So, again, this doesn't clear up a lot of the same uncertainties that have been going on throughout this offseason, but it is just another step in the process that John Seidler has been named this morning, voted unanimously by MLB owners. So not even a single one of them saw any reason to delay this or question it. Approved as the new control person for the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's kind of what we expected to happen. This is what happened. Our buddy Tommy with basically, I think it's probably the feeling of most fans, to be honest. He's like, okay, I'll reserve judgment on this until I see the financial commitment from the team. And if the financial commitment is there, great. If it's not great.
John Seidler, you're on the clock.
Yeah,
now.
you're on the clock. John Seidler, you're on the clock.
Some moves. Let's go.
That's the thing, though. I mean, do they have to spend like the Dodgers and Mets for you to feel like he's a good owner?
Just address the areas
the areas of need. Put a competitive
What if that requires those spending like the Dodgers and Mets? Like, you don't know. You could spend $50 million right now. You might not address a single need if you spend it badly, and then you just have more needs. Like, are you okay going forward if the Padres spend up to the luxury tax?
Yeah, I think.
Are you okay with that? As like, if he came out and said our plan is to spend every dollar every year, up to the luxury tax, but we're really not planning on going over it. But we feel like that's a really aggressive move based on our market and our market size. Every year going forward, we're going to spend up to up to the luxury tax.
My next question for him then would be a simple one. You need to, as a control person of a team, you're going to have to go over the luxury tax sometime, right? Like, if you want to win, you're going to have to go over it. Now,
a lot of teams don't.
A lot of teams don't win, too. I mean, you have a pie, a percentage of the pie in Major League Baseball at the bottom third, right, of teams.
The Braves won a World Series. They don't go over the luxury tax.
They never have? They've never gone over the tax?
I think they're very careful not to. I mean, you know, there is a way to win if you spend up to the luxury tax.
They have a TV deal?
They do, yeah.
So, I mean, these are all things that need to get worked out in the next few years. But, yeah, I mean, look, again, if that's the plan, fine. I just, we need to know what the plan is. You got to be on record with the plan. You're keeping the team in San Diego. Obviously, we've heard that. You're not planning on selling the team anytime soon, whatever. Need to hear that. And, hey, we want to win a World Series. Not we want to be competitive. No. We want to win a World Series. That was our brother's vision, and that's what we want to do, is win a World Series.
But again, as you said, you have to watch the actions. John Fisher would love to win a World Series.
Would he?
Yeah.
I don't think he could say that with a straight face.
If he could spend the minimum on every player and win a World Series, he'd absolutely sign up for it.
Probably every owner would.
Every owner would.
I
mean, even the Guggenheim Group would say, hey, if we could win a World Series and spend $40 million on our team, they'd do it too. That's just smart business. The less you spend with the more success you have is always good for any professional sports owner.
Yeah. I mean, look,
it's just not realistic.
You need to, spend this, spend that, right? You have to put a product on the field that is commensurate with the people in the stadium, right? If nobody shows up because you're not spending, that's on you. People are going to show up. They've packed the place. They're on fire for the team. You've got some momentum. It's very important to me, and I think the city and the fan base, that, Ben, you keep that momentum rolling.
Again, fans don't show up based on how a team spends, though. They show up
how
on
they play.
How the team plays.
Yeah, fair.
That's what they're ultimately judged off of. All right,
well, then what's the excuse in Tampa?
I don't know. They have a terrible stadium.
Okay. Well, we got a good stadium.
Yeah.